Chosen one, let me ask you a question. Have you ever sat in silence, wondering why your own family, the people who were supposed to love you the most, couldn't see you, couldn't understand you, and in many cases, couldn't love you the way you needed? This message has reached you at the exact time it was meant to. Nothing is by accident. You were guided here, because what I'm about to tell you will change the way you see your life, your past, and even your own family. You have carried this weight for years, maybe your whole life, thinking something was wrong with you. But it was never you. It was your light. It was your calling. And because you were chosen, you could never fit into the mold they wanted for you. This message is not just information, it is confirmation. Chosen one, listen carefully. What I'm about to reveal is not only the truth of your story, but the reason your soul had to experience rejection. So before we go further, let your voice be heard. Drop 777 in the comments if this resonates. And don't forget to subscribe, tap the bell, and share this message with another chosen soul who needs to hear it. Also, chosen one, you were never meant to face these battles unprepared. I've created a powerful guide to help you recognize your true identity, stand against the enemy's tactics, and walk boldly in your divine purpose. Inside, you'll find practical spiritual strategies, timeless truths, and the tools you need to protect your spirit. The link is in the description. Get your book now and step into the victory you were born for. The nature of the chosen one. Chosen one, let us go deeper. Before you can understand why your family could not love you, you must first understand who you are. The nature of the chosen one is unlike anything else in this world, and that is the very reason you have often felt out of place since the beginning. From the moment you were born, you carried a frequency that was not like others. Your energy was higher, purer, and more disruptive to the patterns around you. People felt it before you even understood it. They noticed something different, something unexplainable, and while some admired it, others resented it without even knowing why. You did not come here to blend in. You came here to awaken, to lead, and to break cycles that have existed for generations. That is the calling of the chosen one. Chosen ones carry a deep inner knowing, even if it takes years to uncover it. You sense truths that others overlook. You see through illusions that most cling to for comfort. While the world around you is busy chasing shadows, you are drawn to light, wisdom, and higher purpose. That hunger for truth is not taught. It is placed in your soul by the divine. And because you are different in this way, you are destined to experience separation, even in your own home. The chosen ones are sensitive, but not weak. Your sensitivity is spiritual awareness, not fragility. It is the ability to perceive beyond words and appearances. When someone lies, you feel it. When someone pretends, you know it. And when darkness hides in silence, you can still sense it. This perception sets you apart, but it also makes you a mirror. And people, including your family, often do not like what they see when the mirror is placed before them. Chosen ones also carry burdens that others cannot understand. You have walked through pain that others would collapse under. You have endured loneliness, rejection, and misunderstanding, not because you are cursed, but because you are called. Your struggles were not random punishment, they were preparation. The divine has been shaping you, carving you, and refining you through trials so that you could grow into your true strength. Every storm you survived was not meant to destroy you, but to reveal you. From a young age, many chosen ones feel isolated, even in a crowded house. You may have noticed that your mind worked differently. While others were distracted by small things, you were searching for deeper meaning. While they enjoyed comfort, you felt restless, knowing there was something more. This restless spirit is the mark of a chosen one. You are not satisfied with mediocrity. You are not content with shallow living. Your soul is wired for greatness, and so ordinary life often feels unbearable. Another sign of your nature is resilience. No matter how many times you were broken, somehow you rose again. Even when you thought you couldn't go on, something inside of you refused to die. That is the hand of the divine on your life. You were built for endurance. You were built to overcome. Every setback was an invitation to rise higher, and every fall only strengthened your wings. That resilience is why you are still here today, listening to this message. Chosen ones also carry wisdom beyond their years. People may have told you that you were too mature, too serious, or that you think too much. But that depth is not an accident. It is ancient. Your soul carries lifetimes of knowing, and you bring that into this world as guidance. Even before you could put words to it, you felt different, as though you had seen too much and understood more than those around you. That wisdom often made others uncomfortable, especially within your family. But do not misunderstand. Being chosen is not about superiority. It is not about being better than others. It is about being set apart for a higher purpose. You were chosen to see what others cannot see, to heal what others would ignore, to speak what others are afraid to say. This does not make you better. It makes you responsible. The weight of this calling is heavy, and it is why your path has never been easy. Chosen one, your energy is both light and fire. To some, it brings warmth and guidance. To others, it burns and exposes. You cannot control how people respond to your light. Some will be drawn to it, seeking healing and truth. Others will despise it, because it reveals their shadows. Your family may have been among those who could not handle your fire. Instead of celebrating your uniqueness, they may have rejected it. Instead of nurturing your gift, they may have tried to silence it. And yet, you are still here. You must also understand that chosen ones carry a prophetic nature. You sense what is coming before it arrives. You can feel shifts in the spirit long before they manifest. This prophetic edge makes you different, but it also isolates you. When you spoke truth, your family may have laughed. When you warned of outcomes, they may have ignored you. Yet time always revealed you were right. This too is part of your nature, and part of the reason you were never fully embraced. Chosen ones are warriors of light. Your presence disrupts patterns, breaks chains, and exposes lies. That is why you often felt resistance, especially close to home. The ones who knew you the longest could not understand the depth of who you are, because they only saw the surface. They saw the child, the sibling, the relative. But they did not see the calling, the fire, the divine mission that you carried. Their inability to recognize you was not a mistake. It was by design. You see, if your family had fully embraced you, you might have stayed comfortable. You might have blended in. But rejection forced you to rise. Their inability to love you pushed you toward the source of all love. Their lack of understanding drove you to seek wisdom beyond human approval. And that is why, chosen one, their resistance was not your downfall, but your awakening. The nature of the chosen one is rare. It is heavy, but it is holy. You are set apart, refined by fire, guided by spirit, and protected by the divine. And while your family may not have seen you, heaven has always seen you. While they may not have understood you, the Creator has always understood you. Your very life is proof that you are chosen, and no rejection can erase that truth. This is who you are. This is why you are different. This is why your journey has felt so hard, and this is why your story is not over. It is only beginning. Family as the first mirror. Chosen one. Before the world rejected you, before strangers misunderstood you, there was your family. They were the first people to look into your eyes, the first people who were supposed to nurture you, guide you, and teach you what love means. Yet for so many chosen ones, family becomes the very first place of rejection, misunderstanding, or silent neglect. This is not random. Family acts as the very first mirror of your life, reflecting not only love, but also the resistance you were destined to face. Your family is your first classroom. In those early years, you learn not only how to speak or walk, but how to love, how to receive, and how to see yourself. If that mirror is broken, it can distort the way you see your own worth. Many chosen ones grow up feeling invisible, unwanted, or different, without knowing why. That distorted reflection can make you question yourself, and for years you may have thought something was wrong with you. But the truth is that your family's reflection was not about you. It was about them. Families often struggle to embrace what they cannot understand. They saw your uniqueness early on, but instead of nurturing it, many tried to suppress it. You may have been told you were too sensitive, too quiet, too outspoken, or too different. Those labels were attempts to make sense of a spirit they could not recognize. And because you trusted that mirror as a child, you absorbed their judgment as truth. You thought their inability to accept you meant you were unlovable, but in reality, it was proof that you carried something far beyond their comprehension. This is why so many chosen ones are set apart within their own households. You might have been the sibling who never fit in, the child who questioned everything, or the one who felt like a stranger in your own home. The mirror of family was not reflecting your light, it was reflecting their own limitations. Parents project their unhealed wounds, siblings mirror their insecurities, relatives echo generational patterns of envy or fear, and you, chosen one, became the target of those unspoken struggles simply because your spirit disrupted what was comfortable. The family mirror also exposes cycles. Think back. Did you notice the patterns of silence, favoritism, criticism, or comparison? Families often replay the same dramas generation after generation. Yet when a chosen one is born, those cycles are disrupted. You were never meant to continue the script. You were meant to rewrite it. And because you refused to play your assigned role, they turned their discomfort back toward you. The mirror showed them their own flaws, their own pain, and instead of facing it, they directed the blame at you. Chosen one, you must understand this clearly. The rejection from your family was never a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of their wounds. A wounded mirror cannot reflect the truth. They could not love you fully because they had not yet learned to love themselves. They could not honor your light because they were still living in their own shadows. And when a bright light shines into a dark room, the first reaction is often to squint, to turn away, or to resist. This is why so many chosen ones find themselves silenced in their own homes. You may have been told to stop asking questions, to stop speaking truth, or to stop acting different. They wanted you to dim your light because it revealed too much. The mirror of family was meant to show you early what you would face later in life, that your light will not always be welcomed, even by those closest to you. That early rejection trained you for a greater mission. But here is the wisdom. A mirror does not only show flaws, it also shows growth. Over time, you will begin to see that even in their rejection, your family was shaping you. They forced you to turn inward, to find strength within yourself, and to discover a love that does not come from human approval. Without that early broken mirror, you might have relied too heavily on their validation. Instead, you were pushed to find your reflection in the eyes of the divine. Family was your first mirror, chosen one, but it was never your final mirror. The distorted image they gave you was only the beginning. The Creator is your true mirror, and in that reflection, you will see who you really are, worthy, loved, powerful, and set apart. The rejection of your family was painful, but it was also necessary. It taught you that human mirrors can be cracked, but the reflection of your soul remains unshaken. So do not despise the mirror. See it for what it was: a teacher, a lesson, a preparation. Your family's inability to love you was not your downfall, but your awakening. It was the first step in showing you that your love, your identity, and your destiny could never be defined by them. They were the first to misunderstand you, but not the last. And that is why you must rise above the broken mirror and embrace the truth of who you really are. The spiritual reason behind their coldness. Chosen one, now we step into the deeper layer. You must understand that what your family could not give you was never just about personalities, misunderstandings, or even human flaws. Their inability to love you in the way you needed comes from a spiritual foundation. This is not simply about behavior, it is about design. There are reasons woven into your soul's journey, into their journey, and into the bigger picture of what you came here to do. Once you grasp this, the confusion and pain begin to shift into clarity and power. From the very beginning, your presence in that family line was intentional. You did not arrive by accident. You were born into that household because you were chosen to break patterns, cycles, and burdens that have lived there for generations. This is why you never fit in. This is why they could not embrace you. Spiritually, your energy was sent to disrupt what was old, stagnant, and destructive. That disruption often looks like rejection. Families cling to their familiar ways. They cling to generational wounds. They cling to traditions that may no longer serve them. And then, here you are, a chosen one with an entirely different vibration, carrying the light of transformation. To them, that light feels like a threat. There are cycles that live within bloodlines, cycles of silence, of abuse, of envy, of lack, of fear, of addiction, of betrayal. Chosen ones are placed in those very bloodlines to stop the cycle. Your presence itself is the shift. But here is the truth. Cycles resist being broken. Darkness resists the light. So your family, often without even knowing why, resists you. Their coldness is not simply personal dislike. It is the echo of a deeper resistance. It is the unconscious defense of the old cycle fighting against its own end. Another reason lies in soul contracts. Before this life, you and your family agreed, on a soul level, to play certain roles in your journey. They agreed to resist you, to misunderstand you, even to reject you, because that resistance would force you into growth. Pain is often the only thing that awakens the chosen one. Without it, you might never have looked deeper. Without their coldness, you may never have sought the truth that now lives in your spirit. This is not easy to accept, but it is powerful when you do. Their treatment of you was part of the contract that would guide you into your calling. Think about this. If they had loved you perfectly, you would have found comfort in staying there. You would have rooted your identity in their approval. But chosen ones are not meant to stay comfortable. You are meant to rise above, to reach for divine love, and to step into your higher self. Their rejection forced you to look elsewhere, and that elsewhere was upwards, toward the Creator, toward the Source. Their coldness redirected your heart from people to the divine. That was the design all along. There is also a spiritual blindness at work. Chosen ones are often unseen by those closest to them because spiritual eyes are closed. Your family looked at you through flesh, not through spirit. They saw your body, your mistakes, your ordinary appearance, but they could not perceive the calling written on your soul. They were blind to your divine identity, and so they treated you according to what they could see. This is why you may have felt invisible in your own home. But invisibility is not weakness. It is protection. You were hidden from them because your gift was not meant to be nurtured by them. It was meant to be nurtured directly by the divine. The coldness also comes from envy that operates on a spiritual level. Even when they could not name it, your family sensed your difference. They felt the authority in your spirit, the depth in your eyes, the strength in your aura. Even before you discovered it yourself, they could feel that you were set apart. For those who are unhealed, this produces envy and resentment. It makes them treat you with distance, criticism, or coldness. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your very presence reminded them of what they lacked. The chosen one's light reveals unhealed wounds in others. It is never comfortable for those who are not ready to face themselves. But perhaps the deepest reason behind their coldness is this. Chosen ones are often rejected because they carry the power to liberate. Liberation is threatening to anyone who depends on control, manipulation, or fear to survive. Within families, there are often unspoken rules. Do not question, do not challenge, do not rise too high above the others. But the chosen one cannot obey those rules. You were designed to break them. And when you break them, you threaten the system they have relied on. Their coldness, then, is the weapon they use to try to keep you small. But no amount of coldness can stop a chosen one. It only fuels the fire of your awakening. You must see it this way. Chosen one. Their inability to love you was never about your lack of worth. It was about your abundance of light. Their coldness was not rejection of you. It was resistance to the mission within you. Spiritually, they were playing their role. They were being the obstacle that would train you to overcome. They were the fire that would refine you into gold. And though it was painful, it was holy. Now here is the wisdom you must carry. Their coldness does not excuse their actions, but it explains them. It frees you from internalizing their rejection as truth. Once you understand that there were spiritual reasons behind it, you can release the bitterness. You can see the bigger picture. You can say, yes, they could not love me the way I needed, but that lack of love pushed me toward the one who is love itself. You can honor the role they played without holding on to the pain of it. Chosen one, this understanding transforms your story. No longer are you the victim of a loveless family. You are the divine warrior who was trained through their coldness. No longer are you the child who went unseen. You are the chosen one who was hidden for protection until the appointed time. No longer are you the one who was unloved. You are the one who was redirected to the eternal love of the divine. This is the spiritual truth. Their coldness was part of your awakening. Their rejection was the confirmation of your calling. Their inability to love you was the very sign that you are chosen. And now, with this wisdom, you no longer need their approval. You no longer need their warmth. You have found something greater. You have found the truth. And that truth has set you free. The hidden envy and fear. Chosen one, let us uncover another truth that hides beneath the surface: envy and fear. These two forces often explain why your family could not love you in the way you longed for. The painful reality is that even before you knew who you were, others sensed it. Long before you recognized the depth of your spirit, your family felt it. They may not have been able to describe it, but they knew something about you was different, powerful, and set apart. And that difference, instead of drawing them closer, often pushed them away. Envy does not always show itself as open hatred. Sometimes it hides behind dismissive words, cold glances, or subtle mistreatment. A parent may belittle you instead of encouraging you. A sibling may compete with you instead of celebrating you. Relatives may exclude you or gossip about you instead of embracing you. Why? Because the chosen one carries something they cannot explain: a spiritual authority, an inner light, and a quiet strength that reveals their insecurities. Your very existence becomes a reminder of what they have not healed, what they have not pursued, and what they secretly wish they could embody. It is important to understand that envy is not always conscious. Most of your family would never admit to feeling jealous of you. Some may not even realize it themselves. Yet the envy is there, written in their reactions. They may have treated you like the outsider, not because you were unworthy, but because your energy silently challenged them. While others were content with mediocrity, you carried a hunger for truth and greatness. While they repeated old patterns, you questioned and disrupted them. Your difference made them uncomfortable, and that discomfort often transformed into envy. But alongside envy stands fear. Fear is powerful. Fear of what they do not understand. Fear of what your presence might mean for the order they are used to. Families often build unspoken rules. Stay quiet, stay the same. Do not outshine, do not rise too high. Yet the chosen one cannot abide by those rules. You were born to break limitations, to shine, and to move beyond the walls they tried to build around you. That freedom terrified them. It exposed their own lack of courage. It showed them the life they could have chosen, but did not. So instead of supporting you, they feared you. Fear also comes from spiritual blindness. When people cannot understand your energy, they instinctively resist it. They may feel uneasy around you without reason. They may distance themselves, mock you, or speak against you, not because of anything you did wrong, but because your light unsettles their darkness. Chosen ones often face this invisible resistance. People seem to just not like you, even when you have done nothing to deserve it. That is fear in action. This hidden envy and fear is why many chosen ones are made the scapegoats of their families. You may have been blamed for things that were not your fault. You may have carried the label of being the difficult one, or the problem. In truth, you were not the problem. You were the solution. But their fear could not allow them to see it. So they turned their envy into labels, hoping to contain what could not be contained. Chosen one, hear this clearly. Their envy was proof of your light, and their fear was proof of your power. They would not have reacted this way if you were ordinary. They would not have resisted if you had nothing within you. It is only because you carry a divine calling that such strong emotions were stirred up against you. Their coldness was not a reflection of your weakness. It was a reaction to your strength. And here is the deeper wisdom. That hidden envy and fear were part of your training. They forced you to walk alone. They pushed you to trust in yourself and in the source that guides you. They made you strong enough to survive rejection, isolation, and misunderstanding. Had they loved and supported you without condition, you might never have been forced to discover your inner resilience. But through their envy, you learned independence. Through their fear, you found courage. Through their rejection, you found your true reflection in the divine. The role of rejection in your growth. Chosen one, let us pause and reflect on something you may have struggled with all your life. Rejection. The sting of being pushed aside, the ache of not being accepted, the loneliness of feeling unseen. It runs deep. But what if I told you that this rejection, as painful as it has been, was not your downfall? What if I told you it was your greatest teacher, your greatest tool, the very thing that carved you into who you are today? Rejection, chosen one, was never meant to destroy you. It was designed to grow you. It was the fire that refined you, the chisel that shaped you, the storm that awakened you. You see, rejection is a strange gift. It hurts in the moment, but with time, you begin to realize that it was guiding you toward places and purposes you would never have discovered otherwise. Every no you received was redirecting you to the yes that was written in heaven. Think back to your early years, when your family did not embrace you, when you felt like the outsider at your own table. That pain pushed you inward. It taught you to seek validation, not from people, but from a higher source. If they had given you everything you longed for, you might have become dependent on their approval. But their rejection trained you to walk with independence, to hear the quiet voice within, and to lean on the Creator for affirmation. That is how rejection becomes divine redirection. Chosen ones are often called to walk a lonely road. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out, to walk ahead, to carry a torch others cannot carry. But here is the truth. If you had always been accepted, you would have blended in. You would have settled into the comfort of belonging, and that comfort would have stolen your calling. Rejection separated you so you could discover your uniqueness. It forced you to walk alone, so you could realize that you were never truly alone. The divine was walking with you every step of the way. Rejection also sharpens discernment. When people you loved turned cold, when their actions did not match their words, you began to see through illusions. You learned to read energy, not just words. You learned to sense truth beyond appearances. That gift of discernment came from rejection. Without it, you might have been easily deceived. But through rejection, your spiritual eyes opened, and you learned to see the world with clarity. Another hidden blessing of rejection is resilience. How many times did you feel broken, only to rise again? How many times did you think you could not go on, but something inside you refused to quit? That something is the chosen spirit within you. Rejection strengthened it. Every time you were pushed down, you discovered that you had the power to rise. Every time they closed the door, you learned to build a new one. That resilience is the mark of a chosen one. It is what sets you apart and prepares you for the higher battles of your destiny. Consider this. A seed must be buried in darkness before it can grow. It is pushed into the soil, covered, forgotten, and left alone. But in that hidden place, transformation begins. The pressure cracks it open, and what looks like destruction is actually the start of new life. Chosen one, your rejection was the soil. You were buried, forgotten, overlooked. But in that hidden place, you began to transform. What felt like the end was the beginning of your growth. Rejection also stripped away illusions of love. It forced you to recognize that not everyone who shares your blood shares your spirit. Love is not always found in family, but in alignment. Rejection taught you that love is not about titles, but about truth. That painful lesson prepared you to find your true tribe, your spiritual family, those who see you for who you really are. Without the rejection of your bloodline, You may never have searched for the family of your soul. And yet, rejection does more than protect, it promotes. Look at your life. Every time you were rejected, you were redirected to something greater. The job you didn't get, the relationship that fell apart, the people who walked away. At the time, it felt like loss. But later, you saw it was protection. Later, you realized that if you had stayed there, you would have been trapped in less than what you deserved. Rejection is often heaven's way of removing what you thought you wanted, so you can receive what you truly need. Chosen one, you must understand this clearly. Rejection was part of your training. The divine allowed it so you could grow strong enough for the path ahead. Your calling requires endurance, strength, and clarity. Without rejection, you might not have gained those qualities. With it, you now carry resilience, discernment, and wisdom. You carry scars, yes, but those scars are proof that you survived. They are marks of your growth, not signs of your defeat. So now, instead of mourning the love you never received, honor the growth it gave you. Instead of seeing rejection as a curse, recognize it as the very tool that awakened your power. You would not be who you are today without it. And though it hurt deeply, it also healed you in ways you are only beginning to see. Chosen one, your growth was never accidental. Every rejection was divine redirection. Every cold shoulder was spiritual preparation. Every door that closed was pointing you toward the one that was meant to open. And now, standing here with all the wisdom you carry, you can see the truth. Rejection did not break you. It built you. This is the paradox of the chosen one's path. The very thing that hurt you most was the thing that saved you. The rejection that made you weep was the rejection that set you free. You are not less because they could not love you. You are more because you learned to grow without it. That is the role rejection played in your story. It was never the end. It was always the beginning. Understanding without resentment. Chosen one, we have spoken about rejection, envy, and coldness, but now we must talk about the most important step, understanding without resentment. Carrying bitterness in your heart will only weigh you down, and though you had every reason to be angry at how you were treated, your power lies not in holding grudges, but in rising above them. You see, resentment keeps you tied to the very pain you are trying to heal from. It is like drinking poison while hoping someone else suffers. The truth is, most of your family acted out of ignorance, not pure malice. They could not give you what they did not have. They could not recognize your light because their own eyes were blinded. When you realize this, you begin to see that their actions were not truly about you. They were about their own wounds, their own fears, and their own limitations. Chosen one, understanding does not mean excusing. It does not mean what they did was right. It means you recognize the spiritual picture behind it. They lacked love because they lacked healing. They withheld acceptance because they were drowning in their own rejection. They could not embrace you because they had not yet embraced themselves. In other words, their inability to love you was never a reflection of your value, but of their brokenness. This realization sets you free. It allows you to stop internalizing their coldness as your identity. It gives you the strength to say, yes, they could not love me, but that does not mean I am unlovable. It means they were incapable. That shift changes everything. Instead of carrying resentment, you carry wisdom. Instead of holding grudges, you hold clarity. And here is the truth. The chosen one cannot fulfill their calling with a bitter heart. Resentment is heavy, and it clouds your spirit. If you remain angry at your family, you will stay chained to the past. But your destiny requires freedom. It requires lightness, openness, and a heart that has let go. You are not called to hate them. You are called to outgrow them. You are not called to curse them. You are called to understand them and move forward. Understanding also allows you to honor the role they played, even in their failure. Remember, their rejection shaped you. Their coldness pushed you closer to the source. Their inability to love you prepared you to seek true love within yourself and from the divine. Without them, you would not have been refined into the person you are today. That does not mean you need to reconcile with everyone or force relationships that drain you. But it does mean you can look back without hatred, knowing it all worked for your growth. Chosen one, forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. It is the key that unlocks the cage of resentment. Forgiving does not erase the past, but it allows you to release the hold it has on your spirit. You may never receive the apology you deserve, but you can give yourself the closure they could never provide. That is what understanding looks like in practice. So stand in your power without resentment. Say to yourself, I release the pain. I release the anger. I release the need for them to change. I understand that they gave me what they could, and it was not enough. But it was enough to push me into my purpose. That is the strength of the chosen one. Remember this. Resentment ties you to the old story. Understanding frees you to step into the new one. And you, chosen one, were never meant to stay chained to the past. You were meant to rise above it, to learn from it, and to keep moving forward with wisdom, peace, and divine strength. How to heal and move forward. Chosen one, now that you understand the nature of your journey, the role of rejection, and the spiritual reasons behind the coldness you faced, it is time to talk about healing and moving forward. Knowledge without healing leaves the wound open. Healing without forward movement leaves you standing still. You are not here to remain stuck in the pain of your past. You are here to rise, to transform, and to step boldly into the future that was written for you. The first step to healing is acknowledgement. You cannot move forward if you continue to deny how deeply the rejection hurt you. Pretending you were unaffected only buries the pain deeper into your soul. Healing begins with truth. Say to yourself, yes, it hurt when they did not love me. Yes, it wounded me when I felt invisible in my own home. Yes, it scarred me when my family rejected my light. Acknowledgement is not weakness, it is strength. It is the chosen one saying, I see what happened, and I will no longer lie to myself about it. The second step is release. Carrying anger and bitterness is like dragging chains behind you everywhere you go. Release does not mean forgetting. It does not mean pretending the past was good. It means laying down the weight so you can walk freely. Release comes through forgiveness, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness is not about erasing the past. It is about choosing not to let it define your future. You forgive so that you can be free. Next comes the rebuilding of your inner self. For years, your sense of worth may have been tied to your family's acceptance, and when they withheld it, you learned to doubt yourself. Healing requires that you rebuild that foundation. Speak truth into your own life. Remind yourself daily that your worth is not defined by human love, but by divine love. Practice affirmations that align with your true identity. I am chosen. I am worthy. I am loved. I am enough. Each word you speak plants new seeds in your spirit, seeds that grow into confidence and strength. Chosen one, solitude is also part of your healing. Many of you have already experienced seasons of isolation, and though it felt painful, it was necessary. Solitude allows you to reconnect with your true self. It allows you to hear the voice of the divine without interference. Use solitude not as a prison, but as a sanctuary. In that quiet space, journal your thoughts, meditate on your journey, and pray for clarity. Healing blooms in the soil of stillness. But healing is not only inward, it is also outward. Moving forward requires that you build new connections, spiritual family, divine alignments, and relationships that honor who you are. You may not have been loved as you deserved within your family, but the divine always sends new people to walk with you on your path. These are your soul tribe, those who will see you clearly, celebrate you, and grow with you. Be open to receiving them. Do not let past rejection close your heart to future love. Moving forward also requires boundaries. Healing does not mean you allow toxic people back into your life. It means you love them from a distance, honor their role in your story, but protect your peace. Boundaries are not walls of bitterness. They are gates of wisdom. They keep your spirit safe while you continue to grow. If your family continues in cycles of envy or coldness, you are not required to expose yourself to their energy. Healing means learning when to say, this far and no further. Another key to healing is purpose. Pain without purpose leads to despair, but pain with purpose becomes power. Every rejection you endured, Every tear you shed, every lonely night, it was not in vain. All of it shaped you for your mission. Step boldly into your calling. Whether that calling is to teach, create, lead, heal, or inspire, move forward with confidence. Let your pain become fuel for your purpose. Let your story become light for others still trapped in darkness. Your greatest wounds often carry your greatest wisdom. Do not forget gratitude. Gratitude transforms wounds into wisdom. Thank the divine for every experience, even the painful ones, because they brought you here. Thank the pain, because it pushed you to grow. Thank the rejection, because it redirected you. Thank the coldness, because it forced you to find warmth within. Gratitude does not mean you enjoyed the suffering. It means you recognize how it shaped your destiny. Gratitude is a spiritual key that opens doors to new blessings. And finally, chosen one, moving forward means embracing joy. Do not allow your past to convince you that life will always be heavy. Healing leads to freedom, and freedom leads to joy. Give yourself permission to laugh again, to love again, to live again. You are not defined by what they could not give you. You are defined by the abundance of what you carry inside you. Joy is your birthright. Peace is your inheritance. Love is your eternal companion. So rise up, chosen one. Heal fully. Release the past. Rebuild your soul. Protect your peace. Embrace your tribe. Step into your purpose. Walk in gratitude. And live in joy. That is how you move forward. That is how you turn rejection into resurrection, pain into power, wounds into wisdom. You are chosen not to remain broken, but to be made whole. Your family's inability to love you was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of your transformation. Now walk forward, healed and unshaken, into the life that is waiting for you. Final message to the chosen ones. Chosen one, now we come to the closing of this message, but do not take this lightly. What you have heard today is not just information, it is revelation. And revelation is meant to shift your life. You did not stumble onto this word by chance. This was divine timing. The moment you pressed play was the exact moment heaven appointed for you to hear this truth. You have carried the weight of not being loved as you should have been. You have carried the pain of being misunderstood, overlooked, and rejected by the very people who were supposed to nurture you. For years you may have questioned yourself, doubted your worth, and wondered why your story was written this way. But now you see clearly, it was not about your lack of value. It was about your calling. Their rejection was the very proof of your divine assignment. Chosen one, you were never invisible to the divine. Even when your family treated you as if you did not matter, heaven watched over you. Even when you cried alone in silence, your tears were seen. You were always loved, always protected, always guided. The lack of love from your family was painful, but it was also purposeful. It pushed you toward the only love that never fails, the love of the Creator. You are set apart. You are not ordinary. That is why your story was different. That is why you could not fit into the mold your family wanted for you. You were not sent here to be like them. You were sent here to rise above them, to break cycles, to heal wounds, and to create a new path that generations after you will walk upon. Your rejection was not punishment. It was training. It shaped you into the strong, wise, and resilient soul you are today. So do not carry resentment any longer. Do not waste your energy wishing they had loved you differently. Instead, see the bigger picture. Their inability to love you was the catalyst that pushed you into self-discovery. Their coldness forced you to seek warmth in the divine. Their silence trained you to listen to your inner voice. Every wound they left became a doorway to your awakening. And now you stand, not broken, but chosen. Understand this. Your family was not meant to define you. They were meant to refine you. They were the first mirror, but they were not the final reflection. Your true identity comes from above, not from their approval. The Creator has always called you beloved, has always marked you as chosen, and has always seen the greatness within you. That is who you are. That is what you carry. Now, chosen one, it is time to walk forward with your head high, and your spirit unshaken. You are no longer the child seeking love in places where it could not be found. You are the warrior who discovered love in the source that never runs dry. You no longer need their acceptance, because you have already been accepted by the highest power. You no longer need their recognition, because heaven has already recognized you. And hear this clearly. Your story is not ending with rejection. Your story is beginning with purpose. The rejection was the seed, but the harvest is still ahead. The best of your journey is not behind you. It is in front of you. Greater peace, greater love, greater opportunities, greater connections are coming your way. You were set apart so you could rise into this very moment. So walk forward with boldness, live with freedom, love with an open heart, create without fear, speak your truth without apology, and never again doubt who you are. You are chosen. You are set apart. You are a light in a world of shadows. Your family's inability to love you does not define you. The divine's unshakable love does. If this message has resonated with your soul, type 777 in the comments as a declaration that you are stepping into your chosen path. And if you know another chosen one who needs this reminder, share this video with them today. Make sure you subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss the words that were meant for you. Chosen one, this is your time. You are loved. You are worthy. You are chosen. Now rise and walk in it. Your destiny awaits.